So TikTok is back up and running. I'm feeling a little bit rebellious. Okay, so this is American Astrology Update Number 3. We're talking this time specifically about Uranus, going into Gemini this year. We have a weird combination of planetary happenings in America right now, okay? We just had our Pluto return, Pluto in Capricorn. It returned. When Pluto returns for a space, for a place, for a nation, usually there's a lot of things that crumble and fall. Do we know yet what that is gonna be? No, but we'll see when we get there. Uranus going into Gemini is associated with the time of the witch trials that happened in Salem. And Pluto right now is in Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus partially. It's also ruled by Saturn, but it's also ruled by Uranus. Uranus. There's some other maybe more inappropriate ways to say that word that are really funny, but I'm not gonna do it. Just have fun with your laughter if that's what you decide to do. Beautiful. Okay, so Uranus moving into Gemini. Uranus, first of all, has to do with the primordial being that created time and structure and order. Talk about a crazy concept. That which has birthed time, structure, and order. You're talking about things my brain can barely comprehend. But you know what? That's okay. We're going to keep it moving, keep it pushing. We got it. So the primordial beings, okay, the primordial mothers, the primordial fathers, the primordial birth givers, life givers. Thank you for the life that has been given through. The primordial. It has to do, because it is associated with Aquarius, it's about the order that comes before. People who have Aquarian psychic gifts are normally able to predict things. They may not predict them exactly as it will happen, but within symbolic things going on, prediction. This could be people who are really connected to the birds and to nature, and those spirits bring messages that are to come. It's like a prophecy kind of visionary thing that happens. It's also with Pluto being in Aquarius, what are our interpretations of those symbols sometimes is going to differentiate or change how that prophecy is bound up. So if you get sent a raven and you know that it means something, the knowing part of that is really important. If you know that it means something, you're like, yeah, that is an important raven. I don't know why yet necessarily, but I know that it's important. And then maybe you get some ideas and you're like, oh, I was just thinking about this, or I was just kind of doing this thing in my life. And then the raven showed up. So I know that I know it's going to be important. Maybe you have a certain relationship with ravens and the ravens usher in certain things for you. For me, sometimes it means there's a lot of change that's going to happen. Sometimes it means there's something prophetic that's going to happen. There's a couple of different things that the ravens bring to me. Just depends on the season of my life. Anyways, though, moving on. So say that you have the knowing. The way that you interpret the knowing of, oh, that raven is important, can change what the future brings. That's part of Pluto being in Aquarius on a magical, standard, fundamental level. Thankfully, because you know how fun that is. As a witchery person, as a priestess, as someone who's at the altar, as someone who's in her witchery craft, you know how fun it is to be able to interact with the primordial spirits that are around here in nature. Oh, you got messages for me? What can we weave together? Oh, great goodness. It's so good. At least it has been for me. I hope it has been for you too. So good. I like this new era that we're in so far. Hopefully I will. Anyways, let's get back to it. So Uranus, the order of things that come before, right? In Gemini, the way that we talk, what we're talking about, when are we talking? When are we keeping things a secret? Not me with the cat in his fingers, goodness gracious. And it's associated with the witch trials at the same time that we are having Pluto in Aquarius. We just had our Pluto return. And Neptune and Saturn having a conjunction this year in Aries is associated with secret societies. What are the witches really about to be scheming with? What are you really about to get into? What are you really going to start to practice this year? I know for me right now, I'm wrapping up some unexpected old magical cycles or like old magical stories that have been coming to the surface. Didn't really even realize that they were around me still in some closing energy. But kind of the moment that we have the South Node move into Virgo, pardon me, and the North Node move into Pisces, that's January 28th. We're going to be in Aquarius season, and then there's a new moon in Aquarius like very soon after that, and Uranus is going to go direct. It's like within 3 days of each other. The end of January is like jam-packed. That's like the last 3 days. Anyways, after that, though, things are going to start to pick up like real quick. Real quick. And the witches are about to have a lot of room to get really creative. And I'm just really excited about it. Just remember, anything that you're doing that could be politically involved with the witchcraft, which in my opinion, okay, so discern for yourself, witchcraft is a beautiful, non-violent form of activism. Let me repeat that. Witchcraft is a non-violent form of activism. Because you start practicing, there's some things that are going to come up and come to the surface that are probably going to need to be corrected. And if you correct it for yourself, it's going to correct it for the people that are around you. It creates change in the world. And it's a really, really beautiful thing. Normally, not all the time, but normally is done in a way that is nonviolent. Again, normally, that's not every single time. There are certain witchcraft practices. And I mean, literally what I mean when I say witchcraft practices, I mean like there are ways to practice. I'll leave it vague, but it can be specific. There are ways to practice that are not necessarily always nonviolent, and that's just what it needs to be. Okay, so that it is, and I revere it. Let me get back to the reminder, though. Just a reminder or awareness that anytime that I never make videos in bed. I can't believe that this is in my frame right now. My self-love bottle, ridiculous. Let me come back to this angle. Not me clocking myself on the clock app. Oh my. Anything that you might practice as a non-violent form of activism on a political level with witchcraft, it's going to activate your ancestry and their history with the nation of politics that you are interacting with your witchcraft. So keep it in mind and in heart and in practice that if you're going to do anything, you also, like on that level, politically is what I mean, then your ancestors more than likely are gonna be involved, whether you invited them to be or not. So just, move accordingly. Everybody's got a different relationship with their ancestors. For me, we got lots of breaks and binds. And lots of love in a lot of places too, but that's just what it needs to be. So, and that's American Astrology Update Number 3. Thanks, TikTok, for coming back and making me feel a little bit rebellious. I feel like this is some great information. I don't know. I'm just feeling real rebellious recently. I talked to myself. This is going to be more of a personal update at the end of this video, but you know what? Whatever. I'm here for it. You want to listen? I'll talk about it. I realized recently I'm about to go through this really big transformation. Again, not me clocking myself on the clock app. I don't know exactly what it's going to be. Spirit keeps telling me I'm not going to recognize myself 6 months from now. So you know what? Maybe I won't. Maybe I'm not going to recognize myself 6 months from now. Here we go. I'm going to be on the journey. And already, also Spirit told me recently that I'm in a season of change. There's a lot of people in a season of change. And that recently, over the previous year and a half, my seasons have been changing. So it's like 2-ish months of one thing, and then I'm in a different season. And then 2-ish months of one thing, I'm in a different season. It's like 2 to 3 months. But now I'm in one big, long season of change. So the seasons are not changing. My season is the same season, but the change is here and it's been changing. It's been changing. And because of that, I'm feeling with the transformation part of it as a Scorpio, also my Scorpionic self, love transformation. I'm just feeling real rebellious. I also feel like I remember some parts of myself recently that I've forgotten about. And I'm just feeling, not necessarily today, I got a really, really bad headache. I'm honestly surprised I'm making so many videos. But you know what? Again, whatever. I felt inspired to do it. I'm going to follow that inspiration. Here I am. But I'm feeling real rebellious recently. I'm not exactly sure what's about to come out of that, but I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. That is true. Because my brain recently has had all these different ideas about I can feel the change in direction with my content. I can feel the change in direction with my career. I can feel the change in direction way out here, out in the world. I can feel there's change in direction, which means I'm changing direction too. That's how things happen collectively. It affects both me and you. So, I asked you, what you really going to get into? I'm really looking forward to seeing what am I really going to get into. Also, I have, like I said, some ideas. I've got some things brewing up here that I haven't done too much with externally yet. But I've been thinking, I've been stewing, add some things to the pot. I've been brewing. So keep up your brew. Gratitude, reverence, and love to you. And I'll have some new things coming through when it's time. The right place at the right time. Always. That's true. And next time, I'll be seeing you.